Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this. I am the CHALL here for the latest news, reviews, and interviews from the world of sport. And today, Chall Chats Torquay United. We're off to play more. And this is our manager, Gary Johnson. Despite the current run of form, despite the elimination from the trophy in non-league, he is going nowhere. He has come out and spoken via BBC Radio Devon and spoken about the supporters' frustration. Now, before we get started with all of that and sharing my thoughts on the entire situation, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. So let's get there as soon as possible. We're in the final week or so in January now. So we're coming towards the end of the month. However, plenty of content still to come throughout this month. We've got Premier League action, we've got Rovers action, we have got the Royal Rumble. It is all going down. Stay tuned for the 31st of January 2024 as we'll be releasing the first of this year's content schedule analysis videos. So we're going to be reviewing January and all of the content, including all the other videos we put out in the month. And then we'll be going into analysing what's coming up confirmed in February. So before we get started, do all of that good stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get straight into this one then. So this is from BBC Sport, and this is about what was said on BBC Radio Devon from the manager of Torquay United, Gary Johnson. So then, Torquay United manager Gary Johnson, according to BBC Radio Devon, says he will prove supporters who are critical of him wrong. He said there's still negativity with me and all that sort of thing, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying. The one song that our supporters sing over the far side, I don't want to fall out with them, but come on, chaps, let's get behind the lads and see where we end up. Support your club. It's as much my club as it is their club because I've been here a long time now. So big statement there from Gary Johnson, the Torquay United manager. This was a very important press conference to go into. I think that Torquay were in an interesting situation. I think that for me, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going forward. If we look at the National League South table at the moment, we know that Torquay are just inside them playoff places. And when we look at their results, they won 1-0 against Dover in the league. Before that, it was the 2-0 elimination in the FA Trophy by Hereford at Edgar Street, which of course promoted the somewhat viral video going around from full time of that game at Edgar Street, where the fans were really shouting at the coaching staff, the players, chants of "We want Johnson out." Obviously, before that Hereford game, they had not won in 3 in the league. Obviously, drew with Eastbourne. Before that, they lost to Truro. Before that, lost to Chelmsford. Before that one, they'd won about 5 in a row against Hemel Hempstead, Bron in the FA Trophy, Weymouth, who went down to 10 men, Tonbridge Angels, Eastbourne, who went down to 10 men. And of course, before all that, they lost to Dartford at the round about the end of November. So it's like I said, they've had a few wins in a row, and then they went 4 without a win in all competitions, and then that 1-0 win against Dover, literally not even that long ago. It was literally like just a couple of days ago. So again, it's one of those hard ones for me because Gary Johnson's got so much experience of getting teams out into the Football League. And obviously they're in the National League South, need to get back into the National League first before making that next step. Obviously there's a lot of frustration around the fan base. I get that. I see where that's coming from to an extent. Obviously they've got the win. For Torquay United, I think what Torquay United need to be doing on the pitch to completely squash the shouts of Gary Johnson out is to start making that winning run again, because they won 5 in a row before they went on a 4 without a win run. So for me, I think it needs to be a case now of get that winning run going again, get it going for as much as possible, keep up to date with the automatic promotion spot, and do your best to keep going to the end of the season. If they don't go up this year, I personally could potentially see a fear of Gary Johnson maybe being at risk. I think Torquay need to go up this year because if they don't start great next season in the National League South, he will absolutely be in danger because at the end of the day, it's a results-based business. He knows that he's got the experience to show it. So I do get both sides of the story. I'm not just playing devil's advocate for the sake of playing devil's advocate. I'm literally playing devil's advocate because, first of all, I'm not a Torquay fan. Secondly, you need to look at both sides of the story here. And thirdly, with someone of that experience, you need to see what kind of run they're going to go on. Don't get me wrong, if Gary Johnson goes on a run now where he loses 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, I would be probably on the side of the fans where I'd be like, maybe Torquay needs to look at making a change in managerial appointment. However, even if they went on a 5, 6 game run without a win and the Torquay board still kept Gary Johnson, this might be an unpopular opinion, but it shows an undying amount of loyalty towards Gary Johnson, whether that's right or wrong from the fans' point of view. So it's a very weird situation with Torquay United. For me, they need to go back up to the National League as quickly as they can, and they need a plan in place. And when you look at sides like Worthing, I mean, that's a side under Adam Hinshelwood that's building a really great philosophy of football, and they're building a side capable of getting into the National League at some point. And let's go back to the standings in the National League South. Look at the teams right now that are in those spots, to go up. Yeovil, top of the league by 13 points with a game in hand on Worthing, who's second place. I mean, that's Yeovil's title to lose. Obviously, Torquay need to keep up to date with that spot. However, it's been very, very hard at the minute to really keep up with Yeovil. I mean, looking at that table, it is very, very hard. Torquay need to just focus on themselves, win as many games as they can, and keep up to date with those top 2 or 3 as closely as they can. But first place, I mean, give it another month or two, and first place could potentially be out of the question with how Yeovil have been performing this season to get back into the National League. So fair play to Yeovil this season. Then you've got Worthing in second place, and then looking third place, Hampton and Richmond Borough, who've made some good investment. Then in the playoff place, you've got Maidstone, Chelmsford, Torquay, you've got Aveley in that mix. Bath City and St Albans aren't too far away. Hemel Hempstead. It's still open for Slough, Tonbridge, maybe Braintree sneaks in there, depending on the run of form between now and the end of the season. So there's still quite an open race here for the playoff places. I think Yeovil, in my personal opinion, are probably the favourites to win the league by now. I think Yeovil are probably the favourites. But it doesn't stop Torquay trying to go up through the playoffs. And I think they need to try very hard to do that if they're in that position. So I'd say Torquay is one of the favourites for the playoff places, but you just never know. It depends what happens between now and in the next couple of months. So don't get me wrong. And, this is another point I want to put out there. If Torquay slip out the playoffs by the end of the season and end up competing in the National League South again next season anyway, through that, rather than be in the playoffs, lose the final, and compete in the South next season because of that, I think slipping out of the playoffs and competing in National League South again through that way next season is worse than losing a playoff final or losing a playoff semi-final. And that puts Gary Johnson on a results-based business more at risk. Because at some point, if it doesn't end up working, the form becomes worse and worse, they will need to look at changing direction in terms of the way they appoint their manager, the way they operate in recruitment, the way they back the next appointment. So I do get the fans' frustration, but I also get what Gary Johnson's saying to an extent as well. I'm firmly in the middle on this situation, and I'm very interested to see how this will change. We'll probably do another update at some point when the next month or so has passed, just to kind of follow on from this video and see where that's taken us. But Torquay fans, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the situation? Do you think Gary Johnson should be sacked? Who do you think should come in? Do you think Gary Johnson should stay? Comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for